just to start this poem with a slight note about questionnaires that are used to assess levels of depression. They're called inventories for some reason. The common one is the Beck Depression Inventory, or BDI, which asks 21 questions about symptoms of depression. You then total the scores to give a crude measure of how depressed someone is. You can see part of an example of one at the bottom of this screen. I've always found these questionnaires deeply unsatisfying. More often than not, the answers don't reflect the complexity and variability of depression and its symptoms. And there are 2 questions on the BDI which I routinely scribble a note next to, saying, none of these answers fit my experience. This makes scoring difficult, but that's not my problem. So this is my poetic version of the Beck's Depression Inventory. Over the last 2 weeks, have you been bothered by any of the following problems? Choose the answer that most closely matches your experience. 1. Little interest or pleasure in doing things. At sunset, an urban fox searched for small rodents in the wood shelter. It was so close you could almost brush its dusky coat. Or, you laughed more than a tickled baby, more even than the tickling parent. Your merriment terrified the child. Or, hundreds of rabbits bounded for shelter despite your soft approach. You failed to capture them on video every time. Or, 2 pigeons grumbled in a corner between lighthouse walls, obese, their feathers fluffed out against the snow. Question 2. Have you been bothered by feeling down, depressed or hopeless? Your stepdaughter called you by your name for the first time. You hoped this was the first breach in the wall she had built. Or, you set a match to the fire. The heat barely crept beyond the hearthrug. You buried yourself in a blanket knitted by your wife. Or, playing poo sticks, your stick eddied under the bridge. It still circles among empty crisp packets and discarded underwear. Or, the Christmas tree had a dusty cobweb cloak. A bedraggled angel was the only decoration, and the lights flickered off. Have you been bothered by trouble falling or staying asleep or sleeping too much? The jubilant dawn chorus awoke you. A poem sprang to life, seeped onto paper in the morning's stretched hours. Or, at the wolf's hour, your brain spasmed, dreams sucking in all the world's devils. You scrambled out of sleep, breathless and peevish. Or, day-long catnaps damped your thoughts to pallid embers, all your misdeeds blistered into flames. Or, sleep sidestepped your pillow and crashed into your wardrobe. The uproar triggered a heartquake. Question 4. Have you been bothered by feeling bad about yourself, or that you are a failure, or have let yourself or your family down? Your hands were chilblained, the axe was blunt. You made mountains of logs to thaw winter evenings. Or, your scattered mind couldn't comprehend the thermostat manual. All 3 sullen children were fattened by jumpers. Or, a small black rabbit shivered under the brambles. You left it alone. It was dead the next day, eyes ripped out by crows. Or, you crashed the car between home and vacation. You could see teeth through the gash in your son's cheek. Question 5. Have you been bothered by thoughts that you'll be better off dead or hurting yourself in some way? You took a sharp knife to a piece of knotted ash. After hours of whittling, a love spoon was born. Or, an angry email agitated your inbox, fingertips corroded keys when you slammed in your reply. Or you couldn't stop thinking about slamming your arm in a door, fracturing your radius, shattering your ulnar, becoming the agony. Or standing on the cliff top, you thirsted for the salty rocks below. You didn't know how not to take the single step forwards. Right, get the results. Your score is 4. You are mildly depressed. This is your prescription. You laughed more than a tickled baby, more even than the tickling parent. Your merriment terrified the child. Your stepdaughter called you by your name for the first time. You hoped this was the first breach in the wall she had built. Day-long catnaps damped your thoughts to pallid embers. All your misdeeds blistered into flames. Your scattered mind couldn't comprehend the thermostat manual. All 3 sullen children were fattened by jumpers. You took a sharp knife to a piece of knotted ash. After hours of whittling, a love spoon was born.